Hello, I'm Tyrone Purchase, and this is the 4th edition of Midnight Nerd. First, I'm going to talk about geek girls and girls at Comic-Con. Are these girls for real, or are they just doing it because their boyfriends make them? So, I'm going to talk about Comic-Con girls, those bodacious Comic-Con girls. Are they legitimate comic book fans, or are they just there because their boyfriends made them go there? Now, growing up as a comic book geek in a small town in rural Washington, I felt really alone with my obsession with comics, and it made me feel especially insecure with girls. I mean, there was already so much girls didn't like about me. I didn't know. I wouldn't begin to fathom what they would think about like a guy liking comics. I mean, but still, I always dreamed of that fangirl, that bodaciously hot girl that likes comics and is just her total nerd wet dream. Now, I didn't go to Comic-Con until I was 22, Emerald City Comic-Con here in Seattle, and still to this day when I walk onto the Comic-Con floor, I'm very overwhelmed, I'm very nervous because, I mean, I went through my whole life thinking I was all alone in this fascination with comics, and I see not only girls, like girls who are dressed up as their favorite characters, but I see couples. I see couples attending Comic-Con together. And I see these girls who, they're dressed as Catwoman, they're dressed as Dark Phoenix, they're dressed as their favorite female comic book character. But you also see these other cosplayers on the floor who are just incredibly skanky. They're in corsets, underwear, sometimes even thongs. Like, I was watching a video, I think it was footage of the New York Comic Con. These two girls were there as evil cheerleaders, and one of them was wearing a thong underneath her incredibly short skirt, and the guy who was interviewing them asked them, what evil superhero would you like to date? And they're like, oh, I don't know how to answer that question, I don't know anything about that. And I'm like, and that made me wonder, are these women legitimate comic book fans, or are they just there because either their boyfriends drag them there, or they get that rush of dressing skanky and showing off what they got? I just continue to wonder, is the demographic for girls reading comics still as low as it always seemingly has been in the past several decades? Now, I'm not saying all women are bandwagoners, I'm just saying most are. Like, generally, when a girl gets into something like comics, it's usually because her boyfriend makes her. I mean, usually when I'm at a concert, and I'm looking around the girls that are there, mostly they're there because their boyfriends drag them there, or if they're actually into the music, they're only into it because their boyfriends got them into it, and they're just going along with it. I mean, all my life I've searched for my nerd girl, my beautiful, sexy nerd girl that's into video games and manga and cosplay and comic books. And my desire for this became so high that I started searching online and dating sites to see if I could find my nerd girl. The perfect, maybe not perfect, but beautiful fangirl that would just make me so happy. And along the way I had my heart broken pretty bad. I had my heart broken in the sense that I got rejected. I got so fucking badly rejected. And I think rejection is way worse than being dumped. I mean, when you get rejected, it's like you want this relationship so badly, but you don't even fucking get it. I mean, at least when you get dumped, you've been through the relationship, you've been through a girl liking you and caring for you and having feelings for you. But when you're rejected, your whole ambition and the whole plans for a relationship just go BAM! Fuck you, motherfucker. And this summer, I actually had the first girlfriend I ever had in my life, but it was only for 2 weeks. Only for 2 damn weeks, and it was with this girl I really liked that was a big X-Men fanatic. I'm not going to go into the full details of the whole fiasco, but it was a really deadly situation. Here I thought I found this girl who was just this unbelievable, beautiful fangirl, and she just shot me down like everyone else. But one thing I'd like to know is I wish someone would write a book on how to pick up women at cons. Not just pick them up, but how to talk to them, how to approach them, because it's really not as easy as it sounds. I mean, for me, I'm just so overwhelmed by the con that it's really hard to talk to beautiful females, especially when they're just literally the most beautiful fangirls you've ever seen in your life, and it's just like they're almost too good to be true. So hopefully the more cons I go to and the more I move forward in life with this ambition to be with a nerd girl, I will find out more about if these comic book girls, these fangirls you see at Comic-Con, are they real, legit comic book fans, or are they just going along with the ride because either their boyfriend dragged them or their boyfriend kind of got them into it and they're just going along with it to impress them? I want to know. I want to know. So now I'm going to delve into my action figure collection. Now, I'm not too big of an action figure collector. I mean, this collection I'm about to show you set me back real good. I mean, this was some expensive stuff altogether, and all these action figures I'm about to show you, I purchased at the Flying Frog in Snoqualmie, Washington. It's a great store. They've got a whole shelf full of old school Ninja Turtles still in their packages. And hopefully when I get my finances back together, I'm going to buy out some more of their collection. But for now, here's what I'm going to show you. These are 2 action figures from the DC Comics superheroes line. I only have 2 of them. And here's one of Lex Luthor. And God, I don't know if you could... That's the worst Lex Luthor I've ever seen. Like, the cover art, like, that looks more like the Kingpin. But if you could see that Lex Luthor, he's like a bald guy. I mean, of course, Lex Luthor's bald, but this looks like a bald clown, almost. He looks... Since when did Lex Luthor wear a purple suit? That is so bizarre. And this is a Mr. Freeze action figure. It's a different Mr. Freeze from the one I'm accustomed to from the 90s Batman cartoon. I guess this one changes color. And that's all I have from this toy line, but I guess on this toy line they've got Superman and Wonder Woman, the Penguin, the Riddler, Robin, and that's it. Now, for some of you older or slightly older than me fanboys, Tim Burton's first Batman movie may have seemed like it came out yesterday, but since I was born in 1986, it seems like a lifetime ago. And I've obtained some action figures from that time period. I've got Catwoman. Catwoman is a fanboy favorite. Everybody loves Catwoman. And Batman probably has more action figures produced of him than probably any other superhero. Like, the toy line for the Batman animated series was so extensive, and it looks like this one is too. Like, on the back, they just got every kind of Batman they could possibly muster. They got Power Wing Batman, Thunder Whip Batman, Laser Batman, Deep Dive Batman, Air Attack Batman, Arctic Batman, Rocket Blast Batman. That's an extensive Batman line. Now this is this figure set me back quite a bit. It was $35 when I bought it because it's a figure of Iceman, and it's supposed to change color when you put it in the freezer, but this particular figure actually doesn't do that. When you put it in the freezer, it just breaks. Like, the arms and legs just break apart. So yeah, this was a pretty fail action figure. It's supposed to change color in the freezer, but it doesn't. It's a personal favorite of mine. It's an action figure of Tales from the Crypt, an action figure of the Crypt Keeper. I'm sure some horror fans would die to have this. This one rocks. This one just totally rocks. E.T. Motherfucking E.T. It's a little E.T. action figure. My brother wanted to put this next to his Michael Jackson album. Here are some Transformers knockoffs that I bought because they're just ridiculously cheap. They're at $2.98. This is a Transformers knockoff called Quick Change. See it there. And here's another one. I'm not sure what this one is called. It's oh, it's Salvation in One. Maybe that's an old 80s or 90s cartoon that I missed out on. Or maybe not. Now, I love Japanese stuff. I love having almost anything Japanese. And these are pretty cool. These are some weird Transformers knockoffs from Japan. They got Japanese writing on them, and they're just... I like having these. These are really neat. These videos are underway. Some of my friends are watching them. I'm getting some hits on the tube, and hopefully they'll catch on. Hopefully by the beginning or the middle of next year I'll be a minor YouTube celebrity. So I hope that works out.